I always believed my wedding day would be about love, family, and new beginnings. I never imagined it would reveal just how greedy and manipulative my in-laws really were. From the moment I got engaged to Emily, I noticed little things. Her parents always asked about my job, my salary, my future prospects. At first, I brushed it off as normal curiosity. But as the wedding day got closer, those questions became sharper, more invasive, and harder to ignore. I worked hard to build my career. I wasn't rich, but I earned a steady six-figure income at a tech company, enough to give us stability and comfort. Emily appreciated that, but her parents? To them, my paycheck wasn't just mine, they thought it was theirs to manage. On the morning of the wedding, as guests were arriving and everything should have been filled with excitement, Emily's mother pulled me aside. She was all smiles, but her words chilled me. "We'll need you to hand over your bank details after the ceremony," she said softly. "It's tradition in our family for the husband to let the wife's side manage finances. It keeps things fair." I stared at her, confused. "Excuse me." Her father stepped in. "What she means is, since you're marrying our daughter, your salary will go into a joint account we'll oversee. It's the best way to ensure our daughter is taken care of. You'll still get an allowance, of course." An allowance. On my wedding day, the people who were supposed to be welcoming me into their family were already plotting to control my hard-earned money. I looked over at Emily. She was radiant in her gown, laughing with her bridesmaids. Did she know about this? Was she part of it? My chest tightened as the thought hit me. I didn't cause a scene right then. I kept calm, nodded, and said, "We'll talk about it after the ceremony." But inside, I was furious. I had worked nights, weekends, and poured myself into my career, not so that someone else could treat me like a walking ATM. The ceremony went on, vows were exchanged, applause filled the room, and for a moment I tried to push the conversation out of my mind. But during the reception, her parents came back. This time, her mother held a folder. "We've already prepared the documents," she said, pushing them toward me under the table. "Sign these, and everything will be handled." I flipped through the papers. It was a legal agreement giving her family authority over joint finances, with clauses that limited my access. It was outrageous. I realized in that instant this wasn't just a passing idea. They had planned this for months. I closed the folder, stood up calmly, and said, "I think you've misunderstood something." Their smug smiles wavered. I raised my voice just enough for Emily to hear. "I will never sign away my income to anyone. My salary is mine. Emily and I will manage our own life together, not under your control." The room quieted as whispers spread. Emily turned pale. Her parents sputtered, insisting it was, for tradition, that I was overreacting. But I didn't stop. I turned to Emily. "Did you know about this?" She shook her head quickly, tears brimming in her eyes. "No. I swear I didn't. They never told me." That was all I needed. I reached for her hand and said, "Then this is our moment to start our marriage the right way, with independence. If your parents can't respect that, then they can leave." Her father tried to argue, saying they wouldn't allow their daughter to live without security. But the guests were watching now, judging. Some of Emily's cousins even muttered that her parents had gone too far. The pressure turned back on them instantly. Finally, Emily, with a strength I admired, looked at her parents and said, "If you can't respect my husband and me, then you don't need to be part of this day." Her mother gasped, her father fumed, but they had no choice. They stormed out, embarrassed, their little scheme exposed in front of everyone. The rest of the night wasn't easy. Emily cried, not because of me, but because of the betrayal of her own parents. I held her close and promised her we'd build a future on our own terms. And we did. Months later, we were thriving, budgeting together, saving for a home, making choices as a team. Her parents eventually tried to reconcile, but they never brought up money again. They knew their attempt had cost them their pride and nearly their relationship with their daughter. That wedding day taught me something I'll never forget. Love is about partnership, not control. And sometimes, the best way to protect your marriage is to stand up firmly when others try to pull the strings.